2023, we were going strong, lots of jobs going on, and we hit a wall of like no work. So I had to like offload guys and everything. And then 2024 was actually a very challenging year. We had built it up for like 7-8 guys for like overhead equipment and everything. We were down to 2 guys working for me and myself. If you didn't make money coming in, then you're going to be like crushed by like equipment debts or payments or leases or anything like that. So it's almost at the point where you're just like sell everything and be done with it. So looking back, a lot of it was like self-inflicted for sure. Probably giving the guys too much buying authority. Is like, here's a credit card, you need stuff. So that was a little bit of overspending on tools, rentals, and all that kind of thing. The other thing would have been myself of like, oh, let's buy this equipment because we need it. Should have rented it first to see how often we need it. It's just like we're growing won't stop. Guys will always stick around. The goal this time is to like make a plan, grow at like a comfortable rate, and grow at like what money can do instead of lending and borrowing and as much as possible.
What's up, guys? I'm here at the Landscape Ontario show. It's after hours. Everything got quiet. I'm here with Dan for another episode of the Cost of Doing Business podcast. So Dan, kick it off here with introducing yourself. What does your business look like? How many people are in your company? What kind of work do you do? Like, what's your bread and butter type jobs? That kind of thing.
Okay, we're a landscape company, and I've been doing it for, well, since I was very small, working for my dad.
Okay.
He started in the late 80s, and then basically in 2018, I took over from him. He was going a different direction in his life. We kind of grew a little bit to like 2.5, 3 crews, and now we're back to just like myself running a crew of 2 guys.
Okay.
We like to do hardscapes like natural, like the flagstone. We do a lot of planting, mulching, some water features, and a lot of maintenance for water features. So
okay.
it's kind of the way we like to go, and not so like modern and such landscaping. Like some guys do like kind of like pools and all like squares and everything, like kind of like flowing and kind of like a peaceful oasis of sorts. So
interesting.
that's kind of the way we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. And how did you get into the water feature side of things?
That was more kind of by accident. My dad he started like early 2000s. I think 2001 was his first water feature.
Yeah.
And he was through Aquascape and everything.
Yeah.
And then he built some, and then over the years we started building, and then we got Thomas hired on whenever that was, probably 10 years ago, and he really liked water features, so we just kind of went that direction and started working with a local store, and then they would give us kind of the maintenance people and had all the products and everything at that time. So that's kind of how we started.
Okay, awesome. So talk to me about what your day-to-day looks like. Like, what are your main, the main things that you're focusing on in your role in your business?
Well, that would be kind of like anywhere from estimating to running the site with the guys. So
yeah.
I try to get them going during the day. I try to keep the day kind of like a 7 on site to like 4:30, 5 o'clock. So I will get them going, and then if I have meetings, I'll leave like midday, usually around like lunchtime. I'll go sell more jobs or meet people. But a lot of on-site stuff of machine operation, of organizing. I'll usually have the guys doing a lot of like the manual stuff, but I'm doing all the making sure everything lines up because I really like the structure of like efficiency.
Yeah.
So I like to plan. I'll be calling suppliers like a week, 2 weeks out, like, hey, can I have it this date? And they're like, oh, that's really helpful. Usually people are like calling me same day. They're like, can I get something now?
Yeah.
So I like to plan. And have the efficiency there.
Yeah, that's really, really key.
Yeah.
It's, I think people really underestimate the power of efficiency,
Yep.
and the hidden cost, because it's not very obvious, of their inefficient activities actually have on the business. Like it's mind-boggling just how much it is. All you have to do is start adding up, pulling into a gas station to get fuel, the extra run to the supplier to get an extra layer of pavers you forgot, or it doesn't have to take long before you start being like, that's enough to wipe out my profit for the whole year.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had guys who would go out for anywhere from as they were coming back, they'd stop at the gas station for a quick some candy or whatnot like that, and it would just I'm like, where did this hour or 2 or 10 go? And it's like, oh, you're losing a lot. And I was always like a numbers guy too, so I'm looking at the numbers. I'm like, these are the numbers we got to hit. And then when we didn't hit them, I'm like, where did we go?
What happened?
So I go searching through. That's where SynkedUP was very helpful. I go, okay, I can track it much better. So I have peace of mind. So that's why I like that a lot.
Yeah, talk about how you found SynkedUP and what you saw that you wanted for your business.
For that part, I wanted simplicity for the guys on their phone. The app was super helpful. There's other softwares for the computer side, estimating and everything, which were working okay, but yeah, at that time was mostly, can I teach the guys this? How quick can they learn? So I find there was like a little videos by yourself and I forget who else were like, hey, this is how you do it in like a short amount of time. So the guys aren't sitting there for like 4 hours like trying to figure out. So like, hey, this is a video, watch it. Can you do it? So we had a couple kind of like onboarding meetings with the guys early on. They're like, hey, can you figure this out? So every couple hours, we just go for a couple hours, have a break. And we figured out, got their phones out, got computers out, and just figured it out. So it's simplicity and efficiency. Like, to be efficient, I needed to know real numbers on hand. Because back in the day, my dad would be like, you send out the contract, you wait 2 weeks, you get it back, there's like some changes, and it's just a slow process where I like, if you can get back to them quick, you sell more jobs. If you can be efficient, I find you sell more jobs. And if you know your numbers, like I had a time probably 2-3 years ago of, I didn't know my numbers. I let the guys do it too much. And then it just was like, best like revenue ever, but like profit was way down. I'm like, where did that come from? So it was lessons learned and kind of why we went.
Was that before or after you had gotten SynkedUP?
2 years. That would have been actually after. So basically, I think I let, I don't know, software will run them. And I kind of like stepped back a little bit and I just ran jobs and got work and everything.
So you weren't paying attention to the actual numbers in throughout the year.
Yeah.
Got it. Understood. So when you realized what had happened, did you have all the hours per job? Like, did you have the job costing you needed to kind of figure out like where it went sideways?
It went sideways a bit of, basically just probably pricing is slightly wrong because when I'm on site with the guys is different than if they're like 3 guys are on site who aren't me. The efficiency just goes down, no fault of anyone. It's just
is what it is.
It's experience and everything too. A little less like heart in the work probably too.
Yeah.
So that would be, I think it was after, but yeah, I just thought, this software will fix the problems of less management. But I think I mistrained them or didn't train them enough, so they kind of got behind and it kind of went spiraling.
What was it that they weren't doing?
That would probably be mostly just like tracking it correctly, like where the costs were. So I thought from my end, when I reviewed it, I'm like, okay, we were under budget on like materials, but then when I went back to like QuickBooks or something, I wasn't quite using them together yet. But I'm like, okay, we were actually like way over budget on material. What happened? So I go talk to them, and they're like, oh, we needed like an extra 2 yards of concrete, and we needed extra mesh, and we needed all this. I'm like, oh,
like, nice to know. Huh?
We rented this machine too because we needed it. I'm like, oh. So now that job just went from like 15-20% profit to like I just lost money on that job thinking it was creating money. So yeah. And so today, is there anything you can point at that's different about your process today that solves that for you? For myself, it'd probably be just like keep a close track on it. And what I'm working on this winter actually is just to systemize everything. So when stuff comes in, it's just like what is the process so anyone can do it. That's a bit of a challenge, but right now it's just tracking it. So if I send out an estimate, do I follow up? And then the answer is like, oh, I don't actually do that. So a little bit more of just like, okay, what is that? And what does that look like to be repeatable for other people? And
thinking in process. It's one thing to know how to do it yourself. It's another thing to be able to let somebody else come in and be like, oh, I can do this.
Basically, what is teachable? What is like trainable? What is possible for someone else to do? So it's just redirecting that. So the software really helps that part of it. It's just doing the part. So,
do you read books? Like, do you get into business books at all or anything?
Usually in winter, I will get into books a bit more, and then I'm like, I'll keep this up all year. But in April,
I understand.
Hours, you're like,
What have you ever heard of the book called "Buy Back Your Time"? It's a blue cover.
Who has mentioned this before?
Okay.
I'm not ready yet.
So, because what you were talking about reminded me of something I read in that book, which in the book it's called camcorder method, and basically it's like in the same way that you're thinking about this winter, like processes, what's the process, how can I get somebody else to do it, that kind of thing. Like probably the biggest takeaway I took from that book that I do today, as we do it in SynkedUP, is like, let's say I have a thing that I'm currently the only one that knows how to do it. And it's maybe multi-step, and it's not just as simple as like do it. Yeah, exactly. So what I did, for the idea I got from that book called the camcorder method, was just like record yourself doing the thing, talk out loud about what it is you're doing, why you're doing it, because when you talk out loud, you're like, oh, but then sometimes you have to, it forces you to kind of articulate what's going on. So it's not just like a black box to whoever's watching the video, right? But just record yourself doing it. And then the way I do it, like especially if the task is something on my phone or my computer, is I use an app called Loom, Loom.
Okay.
And so what's really nice about that is you can screen record. It has like your little avatar, your little head like webcam down in the lower corner, so you can see your screen and you can see the person, right?
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and then you can talk, and then you can. So let's say I am trying to automate a bit of a bookkeeping process for my business, right? So I'll record the thing. I'll record myself doing the task. I'll talk out loud while I'm doing it. Then Loom has this feature where you can copy the transcript of the video.
Oh, really?
And I'll dump the transcript into AI and be like, hey, create this playbook for me, like bullet by bullet, and create a 2 to 3 sentence definition of done. Like when it's done, this is the definition of done, you know? So we just create this whole library. We call them playbooks, or you could call them SOPs or whatever, but like a whole library of these things. And then recently we hired a person in our business to take over this one role, and it was a role that I had done quite a bit of playbooks and processes, documentation, this thing I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And like it was amazing. Like the onboarding process was so easy.
Okay.
She's crushing it. She's doing an incredible job. And it's just like,
it's always great.
yeah. So it's just like so much. It would have been so much harder if I'd have been like, okay, come sit with me for half a day and I'll teach you XYZ. And then sit with me another half a day, like do that for months. Yeah. And then, oh, by the way, then she leaves or whatever. So like, then now you're starting all over at square one. Yeah. But when it's in like documentation, like that you can, it's so much more free. It gives you more leverage to like hire people and offboard that task, delegate, like, so it's a mindset.
Frees up your time too, but also what I like about that, they can kind of work at their own pace.
Yeah.
Obviously they want to get it done in 2 days, 3 days.
Yeah.
But also I find sometimes, having the patience with that person for half a day when they're so new and you're just like.
And they're trying to drink from a fire hose, you know?
Like, how do I explain this like gently, but it's like, I'll do it this way, and why you're not doing it that way?
Yeah.
Like, let's go faster.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we gotta learn this. So, that's cool.
Yeah. Now, of course, like doing that for like in the field processes is not as easy as just recording your screen. You'd have to shoot a video and all of that, but still, same concept.
Yeah.
And in fact, that app I was talking about, Loom, it lets you record camera only, so it doesn't have to be a screen sharing. You can still do it on the field, get the transcript. Cool. So it's a game changer when it comes to just, now everybody can look over your shoulder forever on how to do the task. And it lets the person that you just hired and onboarded and trained how to do it reference back, hey, what about that one little detail? They can just like go back there and look.
Instead of talking to you.
Exactly. Yeah. And so now the mindset that I'm kind of in is like, oh, you asked me a question. I need to clarify that in the playbook. I'll answer your question, but let's update the playbook.
Find where it is.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I like that. Yeah, because training guys is challenging because I like that idea. You can be like, here, watch this video.
Yeah.
And not figure it out, have questions, but also on site. Sometimes, especially being a smaller company, to find that time to like take it because you stop your work where you're trying to keep everything going to train one of the guys who's trying to learn something, and then it's also the guy underneath him who has to like watch, and the inefficiency kind of comes up
exactly.
again.
Compounds.
So they can just watch a video while you're still keeping stuff going on. I'll do it.
Yeah. Little pro tip.
I like it.
What is the most difficult challenge you've ever dealt with in your business?
The ongoing challenge, I would think, is like keeping guys around for winter. That's kind of just always in the back of my mind. The biggest challenge was probably, what year? 2023. We were going strong, lots of jobs going on, probably too many things going on at once, and we hit a wall of like no work. So I had to like offload guys and everything. And then 2024 was actually a very challenging year, mostly for the fact because we had built it up for like 7-8 guys for like overhead equipment and everything. We were down to 2 guys working for me and myself. So you were kind of like just getting choked out that if you didn't make like the bit like money coming in, then you're going to be like crushed by like equipment debts or payments or leases or anything like that. So working out of that was challenging and a lot of work, and kind of like grinding it out. It's almost at the point where you're just like sell everything and be done with it. But you're like, I think we can keep going. I think we can keep going. So I was going to wait to end of 2024 to see how it was. We got like by, and I'm like, I think we can make it through winter. So 2025, I was like, let's go. And 2025 turned out to be a really good, like a solid year. I wouldn't say it's like way above average, but it was just like a solid good year. So we got to the end of the year. I'm like, okay, there's hope to like you kind of just dig your hole and then you don't realize you're at like the bottom of a pit basically, and then you start working your way out. But yeah, that's probably the hardest thing.
Was there things inside of your control, looking back, 2025, 2024, 2023, was there things inside of your control that you could have done to lessen the blow or to rebound quicker? Like, I'm just curious, like there's there's an element to where some things, like there are things outside of your control, right? But what I'm really digging at is what were the things possibly inside of your control that now with hindsight you see now?
For those things would be anywhere from probably giving the guys too much, like buying authority. Is like, here's a credit card, you need stuff, don't talk about me. So that was a little bit of overspending on tools, rentals, and all that kind of thing. The other thing would have been myself of like, oh, let's buy this equipment because we need it. Should have rented it first to see how often we need it. So that was more just a little bit probably in my own head of like ego of like, oh, let's have all this equipment, nice equipment, shiny. I sat in the shop for 6 months because by the time you have December, January, February, March, that's 4 months, and then you had 2 months of maintenance. I'm like, I'm only using it for half the year anyways. So it's just overbuying equipment as nice and shiny as it is. That was probably within my control, where it was just like, we're growing won't stop, guys will always stick around. So it's kind of just like, wow, this is amazing, money's here, everything's here. And then it came to the end of that where it's like, you almost have to keep a bit more of a reserve, like be smart. And I think a little bit was just like, we got work, let's work hard. Now I kind of look back and like, there was no plan, there's no goals. It's just like, oh, we'll do anything we do. So this year is also kind of, I was just looking at it kind of like from now to start days, about 40 days to work on the business. And then I got 180 whatever days to work in the business. So the goal this time is to like make a plan, like grow at like a comfortable rate and grow at like what money can do instead of lending and borrowing and as much as possible, because to the debt ratio there was like crazy for that. So looking back, a lot of it was like self-inflicted for sure. So you're like, but it teaches you well. Like, I don't think I'll ever go that route again. So you kind of go the one way of like, well, I have learned my lesson, hopefully I don't repeat it. But you can kind of share that with other people too. So even discussions with former employees or other guys too, like, hey, this is what I did. This is what I would encourage you not to do. Because you're like, oh.
That's really good advice, because like usually you don't have to convince landscape contractors to go buy equipment. Like that's the easy part. It's the I think you really touched on a key point there is like, try renting it. And then see how much your guys actually use it. Because the worst thing is buying something that doesn't get used. It doesn't actually work the way you thought it might, or the application isn't quite, meshing with the way you do your jobs, So it's good advice.
And with rentals too, is almost like a forced in the job product.
It's cost of goods.
It's like, okay, I have to charge at least this plus all my markup and everything, and it goes out the door for whatever the X amount is. Whereas sometimes a piece of equipment, you're like, oh, I could probably lower the price a little bit for this job, but the equipment kind of gets forgotten about a little bit. SynkedUP helps me in that, but I find is if you have a rental, you charge for it because the cost comes
right in the job,
right there. Whereas sometimes if the equipment is not in the job or something, then you got to be a little bit careful there. That's what I learned.
It's good advice. So what is a piece of advice you would give to somebody starting out, getting their first crew up and running? Like, what is a piece of advice you would give to them, with the experience that you lived through? What would you say?
I would say there's a couple of things. One thing that my wife and myself listen to quite often in the background podcasts, like Dave Ramsey, move at the speed of cash. That's super helpful. The other thing would be the spot that we're like, do what you're good at and like manage what you can. So buy that used truck, find some like secondhand tools, buy used equipment, and push your name, like get out there in people's faces. Like it's a grind. Like it takes years of just grinding and pushing and keep like the quality of work. Like basically what people come back for is like, they like working with you, they like the quality of work you do, and the consistency of not one time you show up like 10 o'clock, one time you show up like 7 o'clock, other times you don't show up. And if something goes wrong, what I really find with people too is like, as long as you inform them that, hey, one guy's out today, we're going to be like 2 hours late, truck had a
Yeah,
flat tire. Or
dude,
something.
setting expectations is
Yeah.
key.
And they're like, oh, no problem. You show up 11 and then tell them, they're ready kind of at that point of like,
You've
oh,
already
you
ticked them
ready?
off. They don't trust you. Yeah, exactly.
So keeping that trust would
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
super, super good. But
Yeah.
start out with like, small.
Yeah,
and grow from
and grow
that.
at the speed of cash. That's good advice because it forces you to deal with the reality of
Yep.
the resources you have at your disposal instead of like over leveraging yourself. And the other thing that I like about what you said is, I'll say it a different way: be the easiest to do business with.
Right. Yep.
You know,
Yep.
because like generally speaking, homeowners just want to work with a contractor, like you were saying, the relationship, the quality of work, all of that. But they just want to work with a contractor that doesn't produce issues and drama for them, right?
Well, they got enough going on.
Yeah, exactly. They just want peace of mind. It's going to be done right. It's going to be okay. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to like where you at. Like, none of that stuff. You
don't
know.
want to babysit you.
Yeah, exactly.
I pay you to show up and do the work.
So-
I don't want to be here like, where are you?
Yeah. So don't let them guess.
Yep.
Don't keep them guessing, and just be the easiest to do business with. You know.
Yep.
And I know that that's kind of cliche, maybe, but like, it goes a long way, and it's the hidden things. You know.
Oh, it's
Under the surface.
Crazy what that would do.
Yeah.
Answer your phones, answer your emails.
Yeah.
Say when you're going to be there.
Yeah.
Stand behind your work and
Yeah.
bro.
It's huge.
It's huge.
Yeah. Well, really good advice, and I just want to say thanks for putting your faith and trust in us, and also commend you for pushing through those hard times. I mean, there's a lot of people. I mean, I got to see quite a lot of this over a lot of people that were like, wow, I gotta rethink some things.
Yep.
Some people took the dark path and like, I'm out of here. So it takes resilience to succeed as an entrepreneur. You gotta be like, your risk tolerance has got to be like, you gotta be kind of like, I guess, like what's that? There's a name for this when you can't feel pain. It's a little bit like that for entrepreneurs, right? Yeah.
Getting punched in the head. Oh,
So kudos to you for pushing through that and just forcing yourself to deal with the consequences, like sleep in the bed that you made, essentially. With grow the speed of cash and like back out of the overextended things that you had done. So. Those are really wise moves, and just want to say thanks for putting your trusting us with your business and for your processes, and look forward to partnering with you for many years. Keep grinding that profit out.
yes, sir. I like it.
Oh, where can people find you before we wrap it up here?
That would be, website would be raymarlandscapes.com, Google, and Instagram would be Raymar Landscapes.
Okay, sweet. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it. Thanks for making time for this.
Oh, perfect. Not a problem. Not a problem.